All right, so I just started getting back into this game, and I finally convinced one of my buddies to join me too. He was mainly a COD Warzone player, still is, but we're kind of splitting our time now between this and the finals. Because COD's kind of in a rough spot right now. I think the developers have kind of fallen off, and the reason is, I don't want to get too far into it because this is a finals video, but for it is kind of relevant to this video. The COD developers essentially cater to bottom of the barrel players, I want to say, and they're the most vocal. And that tends to happen in a lot of games. And they constantly want things nerfed. They constantly want movement slowed down. They don't want rotational aim assist touched whatsoever. Essentially, they want the game on easy mode. And the developers listened to them for several years, in fact. And they gave us token updates for those of us that actually like skill-based games, but they were never really true updates. They tended to give you less while it's trying to placate you. They make you think you're going to get things like movement, right? Like omni movement. They give that to you and they make you think, okay, this is going to be a game changer. They're going to nerf aim assist, but no, in the end, it still rewarded aim assist. The omni movement still rewarded them, and you're essentially just fighting basically bots and low skill ceiling players. I feel like the finals is played with those same type of players lately, and I'm seeing it everywhere in the community. Not necessarily in Discord, but I see it a lot on Reddit. People constantly whining about the light class, how it's overpowered, and that it moves too fast. The weapons they're doing too much DPS, and there's a light class that they stun us, they walk up and they backstab us, and we're dead, and we can't defend ourselves. Like, what are you talking about? The light class has 100 HP. Okay, and you mediums and heavies have far more HP than they do. And I do play all three classes, so I'm not just speaking as a light main, even though I am a light main, I'll admit it. But I do play all three classes, and I do decently. And in fact, a buddy of mine, like I was talking about when I first started this video, he came over to this game. He started with medium because he enjoys that class. He thinks it's a good fit for him. He just recently got the DMAT, so he's been getting more and more into the game. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you feel that the light class is overpowered in this game? Give me your thoughts as a new player that's unbiased. What are your thoughts now that you've got some time into the game, you've played medium, you've played heavy. What do you think overall? And he said, I think every class is fairly balanced. I said, well, what do you think about people that say that light is overpowered? He said, it's not overpowered at all. He goes, it's really easy for me to kill them. And he's an MNK player, but he also plays on a controller, so he can play on any input, whereas I'm mainly MNK. So if a new player that's unbiased is saying, hey, I think they're balanced, and we've done world tours, we're going to be doing ranked here pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do well in ranked. But my point is that, if you bring in a new player, and he's not new to FPS, he's been playing them for years, okay, let's get that out of the way. But you bring in a new player to the game, and they feel like things are balanced, then maybe all these so-called established players, these so-called experts of the finals that are putting up like 20-minute long diatribes trying to convince you of how light is as a support class, and that, they should only come in and just do a little bit of damage while medium and heavy are the real stars of the game. Come on, get real. The support class is medium. We all know that. They've got a defib, okay, and they also have a heal beam. So that's their main job, is to be support. But they happen to have weapons also that are extremely powerful, so they're able to do just as much, if not more, DPS than a light class. They're also fairly fast. I mean, they're not quite as fast as light, but I've had mediums catch up to me even when I'm using dash, okay? And then you've got heavy, which are essentially tanks with a whole plethora of weapons. Whereas, if you're a light, you have a V9S, which used to be good until they nerfed the fire rate because people are whining about it. And now it's a shadow of what it used to be. All right, you got throwing knives, which honestly are not very OP at all. I mean, you got to really aim with them. You can hold a knife and hit somebody. Again, it's limited in its utility, just like snipers, completely fucking useless. We all know that. I mean, anytime if you're playing tourney or even quick ash, if you got a sniper on your team, you're like, oh man, maybe I should disconnect, because that's how useless they are. We all know that. So what does light really have that makes it OP that you guys are whining about? It's certainly not the DPS. And the funny thing is, I've even heard people complaining about the LH1 because it has a red dot. Give me a break. Did none of you guys play alpha or even the betas? That's when the LH1 was overpowered, and I agree it needed a nerf back then. But now, it's not even close to being overpowered. I don't care if you play ranked and you have your 3 buddies and you have no life and you play 15 hours a day and you're getting killed by some other no-lifer that's manning the LH1 and he's getting you. That has no bearing on the overall game. For the majority of people that come in and maybe, you know, play this game a couple hours a day, LH1 is totally balanced. Whether it has red dot or not, it makes zero difference. But there you guys are complaining about medium being overpowered. Stun gun, that's been nerfed several times. Well, not several, but it's been nerfed since the game originally came out. You know, compared to alpha, that thing was super overpowered. Then you couldn't even turn around. Now at least you can fight back when you get stunned. But I constantly see it. Oh well, stun needs to be removed from the game. You know, it's super overpowered. Why is it even in the game? You know, why is stun a thing? What are you talking about? It's not. I've been stunned so many times. I just shoot right back, and I've gotten out of it. I don't see, and that's as a medium and heavy, by the way. So I don't understand why you guys are so paralyzed by stuns and why it scares you so much. Okay, now let's break down another gun, the M11. M11 that I'm using in this video. Okay, it does decent damage, but at the same time, you have to be right up in their face, and I'm coming up in their face with 100 HP. If you, as a medium or a heavy player, cannot take out a 100 HP player face to face, what does that tell you? That doesn't tell me that the light is overpowered. That tells me that you can't aim for shit. That's your problem. And, you know, this isn't COD, where you have 90%, you know, aim assist working for you if you happen to be a controller player. You know, and I have mad respect for those controller players that adapt, and they want lower aim assist because they actually depend on their own skill rather than have the game, you know, baby them. And same for you M&K players that want the game slowed down to be like Arma or some shit. You know, this is not a milsim. I mean, if you think the game should be completely slowed down, there should be no dash, you know, light shouldn't be running in and hitting you, there shouldn't be cloaking hitting you, maybe this is not the game for you. Maybe you need to go back to Arma Reforger where you belong, or maybe PUBG. You know, maybe those slow grandma style games are more your style. But this is a fast game. So, in closing, light does not need to be nerfed. It's totally fine. The game is balanced. You medium and heavy controller players, whatever you guys are that are complaining about this, go fuck yourselves. Learn how to play the game. Thank you. Goodbye.
310, 11.